mic, check 1 2. It's the Y2K collector. And what is happening in the retro gaming market? Well, it's November. It's a very tricky time financially for everyone. And you have two sides of the retro gaming community. The one side that feels like now is their time to sell and get out of retro games before the market crashes. And not that we're looking at video games as an investment, but if you're looking to sell your games so that you can get money to survive, you're probably thinking about ways you can sell it to maximize how much money you get. And timing is everything sometimes when it comes to that. So you have one side of the fence who's thinking now might be their best time to sell all their games so that they can get the most money for it, so that they can feed their families, so that they can pay their rent, pay their mortgage, carry themselves or float their lifestyle until they're able to either find better employment or secure better employment, whatever the case may be. So you have that side of the fence. But then you have the other side of the fence that looks at this as the perfect time to buy because of how many video games are flooding their way to the market and how much is available right now for collectors who are looking to add certain games to their collection. What am I seeing? I'm seeing a combination of both, to be honest with you. And I've said this in videos in the past, and I'm going to say it again. A lot of it is regional. A lot of it is regional. A lot of it is local to where you are, to where you live, to what's around you, right? So if you live in a city where the majority of the people that are there work for a hospital, or work in an industry that isn't really being impacted by the mass layoffs that you're seeing, and the financial ecosystem isn't being disrupted that much for you locally, then maybe you're not seeing much of a change at all in terms of the availability of video games or just, people selling, people buying. If you're in a place where, the majority of the industry near you is in the tech sector, right, where it's a lot of tech jobs, programming jobs, things of that nature, then you're probably in an area where a lot of people probably got laid off. And typically, people who are into tech and programming and coding, a lot of times those same people are very much into video games, whether it be retro games, modern games, whatever the case may be. And if these people are being laid off by the thousands, well, then you could be in an area where people are being impacted to the point where, yes, it's impacting their collecting. It's putting them in positions where they want to sell. I personally uh, am not seeing that big of a difference in my local area. Like when I compare Facebook Marketplace to what I'm seeing in mom and pop shops, um, I'm not seeing too much of a difference. What I am seeing is I'm seeing a lot of people trying to offload the irrational purchases. And what would I call an irrational purchase for most collectors? I think if you were someone who was collecting and you really got swept up in the hype, I mean, hype of collecting at its peak, people who might have only been collecting maybe complete in box video games or, loose games, some of those people started to dive into areas of collecting that they ordinarily wouldn't have. So maybe they started buying graded games, right? Maybe they started buying arcade one-ups. Maybe they started buying just these very niche products that, may not even have been necessarily video games, but maybe they were just so swept up in all things video games that they just started buying everything they could. Maybe they bought standees, maybe they bought kiosks, maybe they bought, you know, um, just all kinds of video game paraphernalia that they wouldn't ordinarily have bought had all things been, normal. And what I am seeing more than anything else is I'm seeing people start to sell off those almost irrational purchases. A lot of special edition Switch games, a lot of arcade one-ups I'm seeing going up for sale. I'm seeing, 30th anniversary PlayStation 5s go up for sale. I'm seeing, fringe consoles that people ordinarily wouldn't have, like, whether it be a turbo, what is it, like turbo graphics consoles or, Neo Geo Pockets. I'm seeing a lot of Neo Geo Pockets go up for sale. Just anything that would have been irrational that you would not have, ordinarily bought to add into your collection to play, but maybe you bought to add into your collection because you really were looking at it purely as a collection piece, not something that you were going to play every day, but something that would be cool in your game room, something that you could look at and say, yeah, I actually own a Virtual Boy. And even at the latest meet and greet, not meet and greet, but the latest trade event that I went to, that's literally what I saw. I saw Virtual Boys, I saw Wonder Swans, I saw Turbo Duos, I saw Lynx consoles, I saw all that irrational purchasing stuff that was probably really expensive to buy, especially during the height of the pandemic. And now that the air has been sucked out, um, those are going to be the first collection pieces to go because they're not easy to store. They're not pieces that you're going to play every day. They're not pieces that you're not going to play them. They're just there to look at. And in times of need, when people need money and people want cash, they don't want to look at video games. They want to look at cash in their bank account. And so that's what I'm seeing more than anything else. I'm seeing people offload the fringe collection stuff, the extra extravagant stuff, the stuff that they probably ordinarily wouldn't have purchased outside of the hype. The other thing that I'm seeing is I'm seeing a lot of complete in box stuff from GameStop. Now, this is me personally. Don't come for me in the comments. I know there are some of you who try to order GameStop items online. Some of you probably don't have luck in your local stores, and I feel for you. I really do. But me personally, I have had about 50% success when it comes to complete in box jewel case games. And this is the part that's really blowing me away because I could understand a complete in box like PlayStation 2, GameCube, Xbox case because those are plastic, those are more durable. In the last 20 days or 15 days, I've been mailed 3 jewel case games, and Castlevania Chronicles is the most recent one. I never would have thought that I'd have been able to get a complete in box copy of Castlevania Chronicles for the PlayStation, but one did come in the mail, and the case wasn't completely destroyed. It wasn't completely shattered. It actually came in decent condition, which is more than I could say for the copy of Vandal Hearts that I got in the mail. This one was more damaged. This one had, obviously more damage to the case on it, but it was complete in box. And I also got a copy of Symphony of the Night. So what this is telling me is that one of a few things. Either GameStop is running out of their backlog inventory, because I think that's what we were getting from them a lot, especially when they first started the retro, which is why a lot of the games that you got were basically disc only. And I think what you're starting to get mailed to you from GameStop is a lot of the trade-ins that customers are trading in from local stores. That's what I think is starting to happen, because with a lot of these games that I'm getting in the mail, a lot of them are coming with trade hold stickers on the back, which means someone took it into a store, and once it became available for purchase, they made it available on the website through their store, and then hence you get the game mailed from the store. So in order for them to have these games on hand, it means that someone's selling it to them, right? And whoever took a copy of Castlevania Chronicles and sold it to GameStop, please reach out to me, because that is not the place to sell this. But this is what I'm seeing. And so I think if you are still in a position, in a very blessed position, to purchase retro games right now, now might be a good time, because you might have more opportunity and less competition. Potentially. Again, this is regional. It depends on your local area. If you are someone who unfortunately has been impacted by what's happening in the economy right now, then I would say focus on your family, focus on your hierarchy of needs. And if there are aspects or pieces of your collection that you can sell off, sell them quickly. Be willing to take the loss. Don't hang on to a game that's worth, that price charting says is 200, because you can't get 200 for it. Be willing to sell it for 175. Be willing to sell it for 150, because right now, when push comes to shove, 150 is better than nothing. So let me know what you guys are seeing out there. Very, very tricky time for collectors. I'm interested to know your thoughts, and I'll catch you in the next one. It's the Y2K Collector. Take it easy.